So that makes it an octagon, and that gets it closer to round. And then you start off working to get it into
What goes wrong if you stroke the
What's that?
What goes wrong if you stroke the
Sorry.
What would go wrong if you stroke the
Oh, you wouldn't be able to tell if it's stretching or not. It just wouldn't give you any clue as to where it's going. So, yeah, and I've done that. When I first started, I would just take round material and try to get it to grow, and it's just, you get lost in the process. It just doesn't work very well. So it's just much easier to hit a square and keep it going until you get to the distance that you want. Yeah, hitting it. So you're compressing it along the way. But yeah, when you're hitting it and it's round, you don't really see it going. So we're going to get this hot, and we're going to stretch it out a little bit. And we're going to put a curl on the end. So as you heat up a piece of steel, the steel will change color. It starts off going to red, then orange, bright orange, yellow to bright yellow. This is going to be in the yellow range. It's about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit at this time. So and partly of that, see how it's got fat in that direction and it's thin in this direction. So that's how we kind of control how it's going. So, stretching it. Yeah, without the being around, it's just, you don't have a roadmap to see if it's going or not. So. Fun to do. So there's a place called the Crucible in West Oakland. If you guys ever want to try it, go over there, take a class. It's right at the West Oakland Park Station. So get on BART, and someplace where you got parking, get off there, and you can walk across the street. It's really good for jewelry making, ceramics, glass blowing, welding, plasma cutting, blacksmithing, woodworking. They do the whole share there. So. When I was in the corporate world of biotech and biofarm, we actually did a corporate event there, and everybody was making 6-inch chairs.
He took the metal and put that
with glass metals, and then at the end of the thing, they took all our pieces and made a giant wall hanging for our lobby on it. So it was really quite good.
He's hanging up. He has to heat it up so it turns soft so he can shape it.
So now I'm stretching this out a little bit. It's thin here and it's fat here, so I'm going to get that straightened out. And again, we're burning charcoal. This is the forge. Middle of the forge is the fire pot. And we use this machine here, which is a blower. It's just a fan that sets it right here, pushes it down that height. And all this equipment is over 100 years old. Some of it's over 200 years old. You guys guess which piece?
Yeah?
That anvil over there with the white lettering on it was made between 1820 and 1835. 200 years old. It was found about a year and a half ago out underneath the bush here. So nobody knows where it came from around out here. So, well, I understand that Mr. Patterson, that if he wasn't using a building, he'd burn it down. And that could have been why it's there. But if you think back, 200 years ago, right here, this was not the United States of America. It wasn't Mexico. This was Spain. So, and there was a lot of Spanish ranchos that were out here due to the Spanish land grants. So, with that, they might have ordered that anvil. It was made in England. Which means that they had to take a trip around the Horn to get over to Monterey and brought it that way.
Because it's still pretty hot, even though it's hot. So he should mix it into a
With that anvil at the top. And it's a mouse hole anvil made of the artificial sheet by butter head. That orange sheet. Look at that. That's from a picture of what the mill looked like. It's built for making that anvil. And on the back of that sheet, there's the logos that were used throughout time. That's why I know it was made between 1820 and 1835. But great anvil. One of the operation guys dug it out of the ground and cleaned it up a little bit, stuck it over here. He's going to use it in his welding shop. And a welding shop will kill an anvil because you're doing things cold and you're striking arcs on it and all that stuff. So when he invited me to go look, and yes. So now it's here, and it's a good anvil. I love working with it. Sometimes I get to train and use the original part of the ways. So we made this pretty long, and I'm going to check and see about how long it is. So it's right about 3 inches, so it's going to make about a 1-inch diameter loop on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is heat it up, and I'm going to get that. You have to make a little curl. Blacksmiths put a little curl on the end. So I think it's just a nice way to end a bar, you know. So. Here, like this on the horn. Nice and thin there at the tip now. It's still pretty fat in the middle. Heat it back up. Then heat up the metal and make it soft. When it's soft, it's really soft. It works like clay. Blacksmithing to me is like working with clay, but at a distance because you can't really touch it. You have to use your tools. And we use modeling clay a lot of times to figure out how a process is going to work. So I'm just going to grab this with a small pair of pliers and just turn the curlicue I want to put on there, in there.
Oh my God, your hands are so close. You must feel the heat radiating off of it.
Start bending this over.
Maybe that's what's fun about it.
You just feel the heat radiating off of it.
I'm going to get a little heat in here because what I want to do is I want to drive this whole thing that way just a little bit to make it kind of center up on the stock of the bottle there. That's hot enough there. Grab this, I'll put this on the horn and then drive this part down. So I'd smooth that over quite a bit. So now what I can do is this tip is a little soft. I don't want to hit that with the hammer, so I'm going to pull that off in the water, which is going to make that hard so it won't get damaged when I work with it. Then I'm going to use a tool for the anvil. It has a square peg, goes in a square hole called the hardy hole. And I can put this on here and start pounding with this.
It's like a legal torture device.
It kind of does, doesn't it? It's in the hardy hole, though.
I've lost heat, so I need to get that hot again. So, but it's coming.
Wow, yeah.
And then to show you guys, at the end I'll put a little bit of brass on this while it's still hot. I can put brass onto steel. There's a little coating on there. It's kind of a fun trick. People don't realize you can do it. We'll show you that in a second here. So it's hot again. Opens it. Fire.
I'm so dumb.
It's like it was so weird.
This is the bottom right here. So
Wow.
I need to do a little adjustment on the end there so I can get that hot, and then we'll put brass on it. So while that's sitting there for a second, I'm going to cool my tongs because the heat is tracking back. Can't touch it up in here anymore. So you guys can listen, it's going to be dramatic.
Oh, what's your favorite part?
I don't know.
Mine's the fire.
Yeah, oh, you like just turning it, getting the bellows going,
The
huh?
fire, the heat will come back. So
It says it has its hand awfully close to some of that really hot stuff.
I'm just going to adjust this by using one of the
Oh.
blacksmith vices. So I'm going to put the here, and see this is pointed this direction, so I'm just going to grab it here.
Just gonna tweak it a
Just
little.
Continue that twist a little bit, so just like that. And I can use the vise to straighten it out. And we can start transferring the brass. So as long as you've had this up to orange and let it cool to black, that's when you can use a brass wire brush. And it's already transferring brass to the surface of the steel. So it's kind of a fun thing if you want to do. You can, jazz up some old steel, things like that. So. And it's just a fine little coating that gets put on there. I asked somebody who came in and visited, and I usually find out what people do, like I'll ask you what you do, and this guy said he was a metallurgist, so. And I said, so what am I doing here when I do this? Because we can understand how to do the process, but not necessarily what's going on.
Yeah,
So,
technology, but not the science.
there's a lot of brass on that now. So,
It's scary working with water because sometimes steam can be more like scary than fire.
So I'm going to get brass on the other side, so I'm going to heat it up a little bit.
That's why you're not supposed to open an oven. You know how some people use like towels to like wrap something in. If you grab like, if you use like a wet towel, the steam will turn really hot.
Yeah, you get scalded, huh?
Remember, get my good side. So again, we're going to heat this up. I already know that it's close to orange. I just need to get enough heat in it that it'll take the brass in. So. So you can see this is the black side, that's the getting to the brass side. And what's weird is that if it has any color in it at all, it will not transfer. So I found that out because I was making my son a chalice. He's a minister, and the chalice had 2 golden rings made out of steel, and they're big. They're like 18 inches in diameter. And I thought hotter's better, right? So the more heat, the better off it's going to be. But no, you have to wait and get it to cool off to a black heat before you can do any of the transfer. So. Just about there, so we've got brass on the thing. So nice little bottle opener. So now it's still hot, so I did 2 things that a blacksmith does up to this point. Number 1, I heated up the metal repeatedly so that I could soften it enough, that I could then move to the next step, which is change its shape. So I have to heat it up to soften it, then I change the shape. But I have one last thing to do.
Cool it
It's
down.
still really hot. What should I do? Cool it. How?
Water.
Put it in the water. So we're going to put it in the water.
Guess you can wait too. Yeah.
It's not too much now because we did the brass thing. But we can take about 2,000 degrees of temperature out of this thing in about 5 seconds. So I'm going to check it with the back of my hand. This is how blacksmiths test to see if things are hot or cold. They don't touch it with their fingers. So the first thing they do is they feel for heat. So they put their hands up like this and they feel for any radiant heat coming off of it. If there is no heat, you bump it, and then you know that it's nice and cold. So you touch it. So now it's just
Did you get anxiety there?
you want to touch it with the back of your hand? Hold. If I do, because that thing is, if somebody burns themselves, do liquid water, not the ice cubes.
Oh, you can try it. Wow, it is. That's freezing.
Now you can touch it.
Wow, there you go. You can open a bottle now.
Oh wait, I don't think you're 18.
No, actually, I am.
21.
Oh yeah, she's only 18. She's 21.
Pass it around, take a look. So it's fun to make things. So that was a nail when I started. So, and the reason it was a nail when I started was that I have a big bucket of nails. Yeah, they're
Oh, okay,
Yeah, but a
thanks.
big bucket of these nails are out back.
Wow.
Nobody's using them. They've been there for 5 years. So I'm just like, I'll make them into something. So, and
Oh, that's clever.
so it changes into that.
That's really cool. Literally.
Yeah.